Good morning, children. Today we are beginning with a new story, The Necklace, from Footprints Without Feet, and it is written by Guy de Maupassant. The necklace describes the unfortunate disaster that befalls a lower middle class woman who was never content with who she was and what she had. She always felt sad at the absence of a lavish lifestyle and succumbed to this urge one day. She borrowed a diamond necklace from a rich friend in order to attend a ball. Unfortunately, she lost this piece of jewelry and had to undergo a difficult struggle to compensate this loss. According to my book, the story begins on page number 39. The main characters of the story are Mr. Loisel and Matilda Loisel. The necklace. Matilda is invited to a grand party. She has a beautiful dress but no jewelry. She borrows a necklace from a friend and loses it. What happens then? Let's find out. She was one of those pretty young ladies born as if through an error of destiny into a family of clerks. She had no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known, loved, and married by a man either rich or distinguished. She allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the office of Board of Education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. So, we are talking about Matilda Loisel, who was pretty, who was young lady, but by error she was born into a middle class family. She had no dowry and no hopes, and therefore she was married to one of an undistinguished or a middle class man who was just working as a clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. She suffered incessantly, feeling herself born for all delicacies and luxuries. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls and the worn chairs. All these things tortured and angered her. Incessantly, children, means continuously. So she was suffering continuously because she was not having any luxury, any comforts that she was thinking of in her dreams. She was living in a poor apartment and she was hopeless. She was feeling hopeless all the time, and the things that were there in her house that only tortured her and made her more and more angry. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen with a delight air, saying, "Oh, the good pot pie! I know nothing better than that." She would think of elegant dinners of shining silver. She thought of the exquisite food served in marvelous dishes. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing, and she loved only those things. So, children, she always aspired for good food, riches, joys, jewelry, good clothes, parties, and lot of things. But her husband could not afford, and therefore she was not provided by her husband and she was not having in her house. So she continued to suffer. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, who she did not like to visit. She suffered so much when she returned. She wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. One evening, her husband returned elated, bearing in his hand a large envelope. "Here," he said, "here is something for you." So, children, she had a rich friend, her schoolmate, when she was reading in the convent. Her schoolmate was there, who was a rich lady now. And whenever she went there, she always used to cry after reaching home because she was feeling hopeless. She was feeling jealous of whatever her friend had and she did not have. One evening, her husband, who knew that his wife always liked the exquisite parties and balls and all that, so he came and he was very excited to share with her some good news. She quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words: The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Rompneau ask the honor of Mr. and Madame Loisel's company. Monday evening, January 18, at the minister's residence. Instead of being delighted as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully upon the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want with that?" So, children, as her husband used to care for her and try to cheer her up by admiring the little blessings of their ordinary life, one day when he brought to her an invitation to a party from the Minister of Public Instruction, Matilda felt even more miserable on getting this invitation. She fumed as she did not find any of her dresses suitable enough for the grand occasion. So, what did she say? That she was not happy at all to receive the invitation. "But, my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion, and a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very select. Not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official world there." So her husband made her understand that the invitation was given to only selected employees. It was not given to all. And therefore he was thinking that his wife would be very happy because he knew that she liked such occasions and she never used to go anywhere like such place. So he was very stunned and shocked to see the expressions of his wife. She looked at him with an irritated eye and declared impatiently, "What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that?" So, as I said, children, that she did not find the invitation to be suitable for her because she felt that she was not having good dress to wear for that grand occasion. She had not thought of that. He stammered, "Why, the dress you wear when we go to the theatre? It seems very pretty to me." He was silent, stupefied in dismay at the sight of his wife weeping. He stammered, "What is the matter? What is the matter?" So, children, he was amazed. He was shocked to find wife weeping. She was continuously crying. And he said that the dress that she had was a lovely one. When they used to visit to the theatre, she was wearing that beautiful dress. So that same dress she could wear for the party. Now he was not able to understand that why she was saying that she did not have good enough dress to wear. He was silent and stupefied. He was not able to understand what to say. And he was very sad. And then he suddenly asked her what was the matter that made her weep, made her cry in this manner. By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation and responded in calm voice. Vexation, the irritation that she was having with her. So she was irritated at this point that why her husband was speaking in that manner and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheeks. "Nothing. Only I have no dress and consequently I cannot go to this affair. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I." So she told that he should give that card to some colleague of him who was having a wife who was having a comfortable dress to wear, a good dress to wear than her. He was grieved, he was very sad, but answered, "Let us see, Matilda. How much would a suitable costume cost? Something that would serve for other occasions, something very simple." So the husband was very good, and therefore Mr. Loisel came with a wish. He suggested that don't feel sad, let us sit and decide. If she wanted a good dress to wear, how much it would cost. And they should discuss between them that the same dress, if that could be worn for the other occasions as well, such dress they should buy. She reflected for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without bringing with it an immediate refusal. So, see, children, she was thinking and then she thought that before she speaks out the amount to her husband, she should first decide that if the amount was not so big that her husband immediately refuses about that, and a frightened exclamation from the economical clerk. And she did not want to make afraid her husband, who was very economical and who was on the post of clerk. Finally, she said in a hesitating voice, "I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it." So she said that I cannot say finally, but the address of 400 francs would be enough. He turned a little pale, for he had saved just this sum to buy a gun that he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer with some friends who went to shoot larks on Sunday. Nevertheless, he answered, "Very well, I will give you 400 francs, but try to have a pretty dress." So he was keeping the money safe, actually a little bit for himself, and he told that a gun he wanted to buy with the same amount. So when he found that his wife was very upset, he told that he had saved for a hunting gun, so that Matilda could buy herself a party dress. For that, he was sacrificing that amount. So he told that he would give that money to her so that she can buy a pretty dress. And he would not visit with the gun along with his friends for shooting larks. Students, lark is a small brown bird which is well known for her singing. She sings beautifully. So her husband suggested that he would be sacrificing the amount for the beautiful dress of his wife.